Hey, good morning. This is Bill Bergfeld, and I want to get kind of transparent here for a few minutes. I spent the majority of my life working, and I retired really about 60 days ago. I want to talk about some of the emotions, some of my feelings that I experienced. Let me start with the truth. I think that's important. And most people probably wouldn't tell you this. Retirement is supposed to feel like freedom. But for me, at first, it felt a whole lot like being lost or invisible. And listen, I wasn't broken. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I think this is just normal for most people. See, this is the part where the pats on the back and the congratulations of being retired kind of faded away, and my routine that I went through day after day disappeared, and suddenly I found myself alone with only my thoughts, kind of wondering, what is it that I'm supposed to do now? And so let me paint the picture. 60 days ago, I turned over the keys to my building to the new owner. I walked out those doors, proud, excited, yes, well, maybe a little scared, but I walked out anyway. I did it. And then even though I turned off the alarm clock here at the house, I still woke up at 5:30 in the morning, and then silence showed up. I realized I no longer had a morning routine. I didn't have employees that I had to talk to or a schedule that I had to follow. I had no sense of purpose or no reason making me get out of bed. And really, after a couple of weeks, I started noticing things that that I didn't expect during retirement. The days started feeling longer. The house felt quiet, and I missed being somewhere I had to be. I actually missed solving problems, and I missed being needed. I missed the version of me that had a role, a title, a place in the world. The only way I can explain this is that retirement came with sadness, maybe, or let me put it this way. Maybe a better description would be retirement came with grief. Grief for not like we usually think, but grief for the identity that I once had, grief for the purpose that I'd lost, and grief for maybe for the part of me that was built around helping, serving, working with other people, showing up for others. I think it's important that you hear me right now. I was absolutely not failing at retirement. I figured out that the first 60 days of retirement was just an emotional roller coaster, because my brain was trying to build a brand new identity just out of thin air. I'd spent 40 plus years being Doc, being the boss, the helper, the leader, the provider. Now here I am trying to figure out, who is this new me going to be? I figured it would take time, yeah, but probably some support, yeah, and surely some connections. But most important, I figured out it was going to require me to sit down and create a true plan, a reset, if you want to. So here's what I decided. Retirement wasn't the end. It was simply another chapter in my definite book, a reset, a chance for me to design the next chapter on purpose, not by accident, and definitely not based upon what others expected of me. So I didn't retire to sit around feeling confused or lonely. I retired for freedom. I retired to have a purpose, to be happy, maybe even for a second chance to have the lifestyle I dreamed about, or just maybe become the person God really intended me to be. And with that in mind, I figured out what my retirement was really all about. I wasn't going back to who I was. I finally had a chance to determine who God really meant me to be. If you're listening to this and you're thinking, Bill, that's exactly where I am right now, then great. I've opened your eyes and your heart, and that's what I intended to do. Retirement shouldn't be for people who are in this messy, confusing middle part where I was, where the old life was gone, but the new life hadn't really shown up yet. You can rebuild your confidence. I want you to know that. You can discover a new identity. You can find purpose again. Now's the time to create a plan for your years ahead. Your money and your future, yes. And it's important to connect with family, with friends, and people who could benefit from the new you. Why am I saying all this? Nobody should go through retirement alone. Believe me. If any of this resonates, or if it just rings a tiny bell, drop the word reset in the comments or send me a message and we can talk. You know, retirement is just a doorway to a new beginning. I mean, you spent your whole life showing up for others. This next chapter, I want to encourage you. It's time to show up for yourself. Thanks to listening to me ramble. If you're retired or about to be, I'm cheering for you every step of the way.